Welcome to the To Freedom podcast. I am your host, Marina Theron-Monnery. There is no single path to freedom, and there are many definitions of what freedom means. Yet, every journey has something to teach us. Join me and my guests as we explore healing, growth, resilience, and what it means to truly live free. Welcome back to my second episode of To Freedom. Today, I want to name this episode The Ripple Effect of Love. A few days ago, a dear friend asked me what I believe my purpose is. Without hesitation, I answered, to change the world with love. She smiled and asked the obvious follow-up question, probably like you are doing right now. How? The truth is, I don't think we change the world through preaching. I don't think we change it through arguments, judgment, or convincing people that they are wrong and we are right. I think we change it through being. In my book, From Survival to Freedom, Breaking Survival Patterns and Returning to Your True Self, I share what I consider the most pivotal moment of my life. What I don't share is what happened before that incident. For years, I desperately searched for love, first from my family, who often seemed to me as if they were misunderstanding and misrepresenting me. Then through relationships. My first marriage ended, and then that search to be loved became almost obsessive. I desperately wanted to feel loved. I wanted someone to choose me. Then I dated someone for nearly 3 years. Deep down, I knew the relationship was not going anywhere. It really left me frustrated, but I struggled to leave. And eventually, circumstances made that decision for me when he unexpectedly passed away. His death devastated me. But in the secrets of my deepest self, there was a sense of relief that a difficult chapter in my life was over. And that relief brought me tremendous guilt. I did not have relief that this man died. I had relief because the struggle was over. Then, trying to escape the pain, I immediately threw myself into online dating. Now, I can make this all about humor and keep you busy with hilarious stories from this chapter in my life. But some were heartbreaking as well. Like so many people who grow up believing their worth depends on what they can give others, I sacrificed myself over and over again. And I could not understand why nobody could really see my depth nor understand me. In reality, I set boundaries to protect my children. But I never set boundaries to protect myself. That pattern eventually led to a violent incident, and I had to call the police. When the dust settled that evening, my bathtub moment happened. I was sitting alone, exhausted and broken, in a warm bath. And I realized something that changed everything. I loved my children enough to protect them at all costs, but I did not love myself enough to protect me. In fact, I had no idea how to love myself. I remember the scripture that says, love your neighbor as you love yourself, yet it seems as if I tried really hard to love everybody and even hoped that my love would be enough. But now I realize that maybe I have it backwards. Maybe I should have read into that. Learn to love yourself so that you can become love to your neighbors. In that moment, realizing this, my life changed. My desperate search to be loved by someone out there became a determined search to learn how to love myself. Now, I cannot tell you that I have the blueprint, the recipe to all of this, even though after this exercise to focus on myself, I did end up in a beautiful, loving marriage. But that blueprint I've learned really does not exist. It did not for me. I tried different things, but what ultimately worked was a decision, a focus, a willingness to learn, not wasting my energy anymore on trying to attract it, but instead spending time and energy on me so that I could learn to be love. Slowly, something remarkable happened. For the first time in my life, I was no longer afraid to be alone anymore. I was no longer afraid to be single. And I was not even afraid of spending the rest of my life with only myself for company. That freedom changed everything. And so the journey continued. Since 2018, I immersed myself into the teachings of Dr. Joe Dispenza. This elevated me even more into becoming instead of perpetually wanting love. In 2023, I attended a week-long retreat by Dr. Joe in Denver. During one of the first meditations, something happened that I still struggle to put into words. People often say that their heart burst open, but that doesn't quite capture what I experienced. The closest description I can find is that it felt like fireworks exploding from my chest. Wave after wave of love. Not romantic love, not earned love, not conditional love, just love above any understanding, pure, limitless. After that experience, I realized something had changed. Before that moment, I saw people largely through my own lens of judgment. Afterwards, I began seeing them through a lens of acceptance. Not because they changed, but because I changed. Love changed me. The sense I have ever since then is of my heart being wide open. Let me explain it visually like this. I looked at people through a closed heart and saw them through judgment, but now, most of the time, they look like this. everything changed. The filter lifted. Everybody and everything looks different. So, from the bathtub moment in 2010 to an exploding heart in 2023, love has been the thread connecting all. And perhaps that is how we change the world. Not by demanding that others change or become different, not by forcing our beliefs onto people, not by trying to convince them with words, but by being. What if we chose love instead of judgment? What if we chose understanding instead of condemnation? What if we stopped asking how to change other people and started asking how to become the example we wish to see? I believe everything is energy. And if that is true, then every interaction matters. Every act of kindness matters. Every moment of compassion matters. Every choice to love instead of hate matters. Love can be contagious, not through words, but through presence, through example, through the ripple effect created when one person chooses to live differently. Love changed me, not from anybody else, but from within me. Perhaps it can change the world too, one person at a time. So, will you be part of this ripple effect with me? After all, many of us have learned in theory, love conquers all. We've learned that God is love. So let's be love. Let's try and see what happens. I'm not perfect in this, but I'm focused on it. I don't want to walk this journey alone. So this is your invitation. Let's be love. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate if you would subscribe. And I will see you next time. I am in the process of interviewing many people to become guests on the show. And I'm looking forward to introducing them to you very soon. Let's be love.